we're recording. That should be me. I'm using the YouTube app. It doesn't like to record with the phone sideways, so I'm just going to leave it upright. I'm going to set it up against my window, and I'm going to talk into it while it's looking out into the truck stop. Yeah, that's about as good as it's going to get. Sorry. I'm sick. I've been sick for 3 or 4 days. Making videos. So there's a lot of reasons that I haven't been uploading videos like I wanted to. I wanted to kind of give daily updates as to what, happened. Even if they're only a couple of minutes. But, number one, I just don't have any free time. What little free time I have is pretty much spent sleeping. And I have almost no time to myself. So it would just be really awkward to sit in here and try to make one of these videos with Miguel, 2 or 3 feet away from me. So, that's one of the problems. No free time and no alone time to make the videos. And the other problem is data, like internet, the ability to upload. I haven't bothered making a video because about the only way I can upload it is through Love's Wi-Fi. My AT&T has throttled me down to modem speeds, or not AT&T, it's Google Fi. I can't remember which network Google Fi uses. I want to say it's T-Mobile. I can't remember. But after I hit 22 gigs, everything on my phone has been throttled down to like modem speed. It is so slow I can barely browse web pages or anything. My apps take forever to load. So I'm going to try to upload this through the Love's Wi-Fi. I've tested the Wi-Fi speed at Love's that we've been going to, about 2 or 3 different locations, and the speeds have been different at every place. The only consistent thing is that it looks like the connections are all full duplex. So, sorry. If it's a 10 megabit connection, it's 10 megabit up and down. This is the slowest. This Love's at Hutchins. I think this is Hutchins, Texas. There's like 2 or 3 different towns that come up when I look at it on Google Maps, or I look at it on the Love's app, or I look at it on like every different place that I look at. My GPS location gives me a different name for the town that I'm in. But I'm pretty sure it's Hutchins, Texas. It says Hutchins on the wall in the Love's. So it's basically a suburb of Dallas. It's close to where Miguel lives. So this is where we do our time off, which we're not having much of any time off right now. So the first week, I got in there Wednesday, like halfway through the day, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And we drove out the rest of the week, made it back here to this place Friday night. I want to say, I can't remember what time we made it in Friday night. It was like 10 or 11 p.m. or something. Midnight, maybe 2 a.m. And we didn't leave out again until something like noon Monday. But the week after that, we've just been going nonstop. They offered him one of the accounts that the company is trying to get business with is Anheuser-Busch, and they had us drop an empty trailer at Anheuser-Busch last week, and then we were supposed to go and pick up the loaded trailer this week, but I screwed up. I'm pretty sure it was me, because Miguel had me go and talk with them, and I didn't recall them telling me a parking spot to put the empty trailer. So we just put it in a random one. And because of that, they loaded it with the wrong stuff. And they loaded it with beer that was going to Portland. And they did not want to move it. They didn't want to swap the product in between the USA truck trailer and another trailer. So they wanted us to take the Portland load. So they asked us if we were willing to do it, and we were like, Miguel got really excited about the prospect of going to Portland. He wanted to go take me through some mountains and stuff like that, because we don't really go across any mountains in his route. We go across some hills, but that's about it. I haven't seen any road that we've gone across that had a listed grade, a percentage grade. It's kind of good and bad. I would like to, drive an automatic down and up a grade while I have somebody experienced next to me. But I don't know if Miguel's even driven an automatic on a grade. I know he's driven a manual on a grade. I know how to drive a manual on a grade. I'm guessing, I don't really know. I'll ask the shop, whenever I get my truck, what the intricacies of the automatic transmissions are. But, so he got all excited about the prospect of us going to Portland. And they basically canceled his time off for this week so that we could take that Portland load. And then they booked us on loads. And then the Portland load canceled. Anheuser-Busch said they were going to go ahead and move the product around. So then we're already booked to work all the weekend. And we were going to get the Portland load on Monday or something. So then they had to go and find other loads for us. So we're basically working nonstop without a day off now for a week. Which, whenever you add the week before and the week after that, it's basically going to turn into something like, 2 weeks, no time off, maybe 3. So it went from what I thought was going to be a very relaxed, easy training to we have been stretching our hours as thin as possible to try and do this. I don't know how many miles that I ran this week. He told me that he averages on his dedicated route about 2,200 miles a week. Sometimes more, sometimes less. 2,400, 20 to 2,000, somewhere in that area. When I checked how many miles I had driven this week, I had driven 2,000 miles Thursday. And I think that was at the beginning of the day. It might have been at the end of the day. I can't remember, but I still had 2 or 3 days left in the week at that point. I've driven quite a few miles. I think that I alone have driven Miguel's normal 2,400 miles in a week this past week. So he's going to be making a lot of money. My pay doesn't fluctuate with how hard we work. I get paid $85 a day whether I'm sitting here at the truck stop or whether I'm driving for 14 hours. It doesn't matter. I make $85. So I don't mind. I don't really care. There's not a big difference to me. Driving one of these trucks isn't that much work. It's a little stressful at times, but it's not too bad. If I had a damn pause button, I would. But I only have a stop button on this crap app from YouTube. I need to find an alternative. The camera app on this thing it's like a 32-bit app. And it has size limitations. Once the video gets about 18 minutes, it cuts it, and because it hits a 4 gig limit. So for simplicity's sake, I'm using this stupid YouTube app. What all else is there? 95% of the time, Miguel and I get along great. He's a really nice guy. He's, very supportive. He's constantly telling me all the time I'm an awesome driver. He's told me that there are a lot of firsts with me. he said that I'm the first trainee or student he's ever had that he didn't have to coach on several things, and that did things right the first time and stuff like that, like driving around curbs and stuff like that, and knowing how to take it wide enough so you don't take the trailer over the curb. And he said that includes all of the second chance people that he trained. For a while, USA Truck had this program where they would take on drivers that no other company would hire because they were in serious accidents or something. Their driving records were just too bad. And they would send them through training with Miguel and a couple of other people. And if they could pass that and, try to correct some of their bad behaviors, USA would give them a chance. And Miguel said that I'm basically a better driver than any student he's ever had and any trainee that he's ever had. And that's including, some of those second chance drivers that he said a lot of them had 5 or more years of experience. So he's singing my praises a lot. He actually called his driver manager, not his driver manager, but the Sheila, the trainee manager. And he tried to talk her into let me out of training early. He told her that, I was ready to have my own truck. And she said she'd think about it. I don't think it's going to happen. We'll see, though. I'm not too worried about it. Honestly, the days have run together so much that I don't even know, like, how many days I've been in training right now. Okay, let me think about it for a second. So I started on Wednesday, and so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I was here at the Loves Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday again. That would be 1 week. And I think this is Saturday, so I think it's been a week and a half, basically. It's been 7 days, would be Wednesday to Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday, and today is Saturday. So I've been in training for 10 days out of 28. And he's already asked Sheila if she would let me out of training. The only issue I really have is with backing. And, when I say I have an issue with backing, I'm probably as good as your average veteran driver at backing. There are obviously a lot of people who are a lot better at backing than I am. But I think if I had an hour or two to play around with the truck and just practice backing at a terminal, I could be really good at backing. So I can get the truck parked, I can back the trailer in and everything. It's just I don't one-shot it. I have to do 4 or 5 pull-ups, and once I get it into the spot, then I'll have to usually realign it. And part of the problem I'm having is, number one, inexperience. It's been so long since I've driven one of these trucks, I just don't have a feel for them. And these Kenworths have the worst turning radius of any truck I've ever driven. It takes forever for these things to turn. And the mirrors are not set up properly, and I can't, there's only so many to adjust them properly. I would have to get out a screwdriver and move the mounting position. The way that they're mounted is that they are too far out, and whenever you look down the side of the trailer, you're looking at the trailer at an angle. You're not looking straight down the trailer. And in order for me to, do well at backing, when I look at the mirror, I have to be able to look straight down the trailer and tell if I'm straight from either mirror. Because of the way these things are, not set up properly. They may be set up properly for Miguel, but they're not set up properly for me, and I'm not going to go out and use a screwdriver to adjust them every time we swap seats. This is his truck. I can deal with this for 28 days. But when I get my own truck and I'm able to get a screwdriver out there and adjust the mirrors the way I want them, I think my backing is going to improve quite a bit. But sorry, that guy was backing up next to me, and I was looking like I forgot that the guy that was parked next to me just moved. I was like, where in the hell is he gonna pull into? I forgot there was an open spot right next to me. Oh, he doesn't want to park right next to me. He stopped so that we don't have we don't have our windows side by side. I was gonna sit there and like stick my tongue out at him and stuff. So I'm only like 10 days into training. Still got a long way to go. We're taking some time off right now. Miguel's at his house, and we're basically just taking the night off. We're doing, like, he told me that it's against policy for him to be in the sleeper while I'm driving, and technically no one can be in the sleeper in his truck while the truck is moving, because he's removed the damn seat belts. Somebody has removed the seat belts. I don't know if it's him, but he doesn't have functional cargo straps or seat belts in his top or bottom bunk, so nobody can be in the bunk while the truck's moving legally. And as a trainee, he's required to be in the passenger seat while the student's driving. So we can't technically do team driving, but we can both use all of our hours to drive, and we've been doing that. So we've been sitting up here in the passenger seat and swapping and stuff. And it allows us to run a few more hours than a normal solo driver could. And what we did was we got this load here quite a bit early. The last two loads I think we did quite a bit early, and it allowed us to get here to Hutchins real early. I think we weren't supposed to be here until midnight Saturday night or 11 p.m. Saturday night, and we got here at like 7 o'clock Saturday morning. And it's like 8 or 9 a.m. right now. I don't know. Something like that. And our next load is supposed to pick up around noon tomorrow. I think he said he's planning on, starting the day at 2 p.m. tomorrow. And I think our next load is going to a Safeway distribution center in Denver. And from Denver, we're going to... where the hell are we going from Denver? I think we're going to pick up some waste paper in, he said, Springfield. I think it's Springfield, Colorado. Or it might have been Colorado Springs, Colorado. Some town in Colorado. We're going to pick up some recyclable paper, some waste paper basically. We're going to take it to this paper plant that we haul stuff out of. And we're going to drop the waste paper off there and pick up another load and bring that back down to Hutchins. And then from there, we have another load. I can't remember all the stuff that we have. Our next 3 or 4 loads already assigned to us. So we know what we're doing out until like Wednesday or something. So it's very busy. And Miguel, I'm sure, is making a killing right now with all the miles we're doing. I think he's excited to have somebody in the truck that knows how to drive. And he's running me pretty hard. I mean, he swaps with me and he drives quite a bit too. But I think the truck normally moves really slow because most of his students, he does not ever let them use the cruise control. And you can only go 63 miles an hour in these trucks without the cruise. With the cruise, you can get up to 65. And there are a ton of other restrictions he has on them that basically limits like how many miles they can do in a day. And I think that's one of the reasons he runs so few miles. But now that he's got me in the truck, we're crushing out some damn miles. I don't know how many total miles we did this week, but I would guess that it was close to 2,800, maybe 3,000. I would check my my app on here. You know what? I have another thing here. Okay, so this says our current week miles are 2,540. Huh. I know that there's no way he drove 2,540, so that has to be the total miles to the truck. So maybe it's counting all of our miles together. I thought in my current week miles, it was just showing the miles that I was driving. Right now I'm looking at his miles, which I know that he hasn't driven 2,500 damn miles. And I, did 2,000. I know we didn't put no 4,500 miles on this truck last week. We're not running in a team. But yeah, that number is lower than expected. 25, almost 2,600 miles that we did this week. Huh. That kind of sucks. Well, I'm trying to think here. We didn't leave until Monday at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so we missed a day or two. Oh, that's nasty. Did you see that guy in the green truck? That's DEF. DEF is like this ammonia-based stuff. It's urea. It stank. And I think that it just like popped out of there and squirted all over him and he ran away from it. Oh, that's gonna suck to have that crap on him when he gets back in that truck. He's gonna have to smell himself. Nasty. Oh, what the fuck was I talking about before I digressed? Yeah, I was just surprised that we didn't run as many miles as I thought we did. Oh, he's hauling butt. There's been a lot of issues with sleep. I think I mentioned in previous videos that I'm having issues sleeping because of temperature, because of noise. Like this truck doesn't idle. It runs off the batteries, and the batteries can last forever. I have an Alienware laptop with like I don't know how many watt adapter thing for it, but it uses almost as much power as a normal computer. And I played last weekend on that laptop in here. And after an entire day of using that laptop, and I don't know what all else I was doing, there's a whole bunch of crap in here plugged into electricity. I was charging my phone and stuff. There's like 2 or 3 tablets in here. There's this shit plugged into that everywhere. And all day Saturday, like 12, maybe 24 hours, it used like 30% of the battery. So this thing can run on batteries for a day, maybe 2 days. Once it gets to 50%, if you have it set to auto start, it'll turn on and charge the battery up to like 75%. It takes it a little bit to charge it up, but if you're driving it, every other day, just driving it for a couple hours will probably charge the battery up, and then the batteries last forever. But because it runs on batteries and it doesn't turn on to run the heater or anything, it does turn on to run the air conditioner, but the air conditioner works really well, so it cools it off really quick and then it shuts off. Because nothing is running, it is really, really, really quiet. It's not like old school truck stops where there's engines running everywhere and it's just so noisy you can't hear yourself. It's really quiet in the parking areas of truck stops now. And because there isn't that engine drowning out all of the noise of people talking and various other things, then every time somebody does one of those other things, it wakes me up. So I've had issues because of the noise, because of the temperature, and just because, I'm getting back into trucking. Also, that top bunk is really, really skinny. It's a really skinny bunk. I'm used to having a queen size bed where I can spread out, and I'm not able to sleep in my normal sleeping position because the mattress is too narrow. I think the bottom bunk is either a full or a queen. I'm not sure. But the top bunk is a twin, extra long. So it's a twin that's long enough for a normal sized person. Your feet aren't going to hang a foot off the end of the bed. But it's just a lot of reasons. I did remember to bring my earplugs, and I used my earplugs the other night, and I actually got some decent sleep. But I was exhausted. And Miguel complained that he wasn't able to sleep because I snore so damn loud. So anytime I sleep, he can't sleep because he's a really light sleeper, just like me. And he snores too. That's another reason I have issues sleeping. So we both wake each other up snoring. And there's a huge temperature difference between the top and bottom bunk. So we're both having issues with, sleeping because of temperature. He's freezing his ass off. And it's like a fucking sweat lodge up in the top bunk. And the noise... So, I don't know if he's having other issues with the noise. Like, every time I toss and turn in the truck, it moves the whole fucking truck. And I can hear him stop snoring whenever I, roll over my bed. And I think it wakes him up whenever I roll over. And I'm a toss and turn kind of person. I'm constantly shifting my sleeping position at night. So I'm, moving the truck or bouncing the truck around. He does it too, but not as often as I do. But yeah, it's just living in one of these trucks with somebody else is just, I don't know how people do it. I've been doing it's a week and a half, and I can't take this shit anymore. The only thing that was making it tolerable was knowing that I was going to have weekends off, and I was only going to have to do it 5 days a week and then have a weekend off. Now, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Now, it looks like we're going to be running our ass off. I don't know how I feel about this. I am looking forward to getting into my own damn truck, and then I'm looking forward to getting into a lease. Miguel has called the person in charge of leasing 2 or 3 times and left voicemails, and he has still not returned Miguel's call. I don't know what the hell is going on with that. That is so rude. but he's been trying to get information for me about the lease, because I was told that during orientation I get to talk with them. Like, I may not want to go with USA Truck if I can't get into a damn lease with them. Like, if they're going to abandon their lease program, or if they're going to make major changes to it, or there's something about it that I don't know that would have an impact on whether or not I want to do it here, I'm starting to get a little upset that they won't talk to me. The student driver manager, Sheila, told me that I would get an opportunity to talk with them whenever I upgraded to my own truck. So, looks like one guy took off in front of the FedEx truck to get to his truck. He looks like he might be the guy parked next to me. And then the other guy waved the FedEx truck on, told him to move on. You got this. He's trying to be nice and stuff. I think FedEx wanted that damn parking spot that Prime just took. Looks like he's debating on whether or not to park right next to him. There's apparently some parking, some backup. FedEx has to be careful with pulling out. With doubles, you can't back them up. So if he gets into a bad situation, he can try to back them up, but he'll probably have to break the trailers apart if he gets in a real bad situation, and nobody will move out in front of him. Well, that was a USA Truck pair of people. Looked like maybe a trainer and a trainee. I'm seeing some familiar faces that I saw last weekend. It looks like a lot of people are on these dedicated routes where they're kind of like chilling here at the truck stop on the weekend, or dropping their truck off for the weekend at the truck stop. Sorry, I'm getting a paper towel. If I had a fucking pause button, I'd use it. But, you know, everything's going about as good as it could. For anyone who hasn't done this, it's really, really hard to explain to them how awkward and everything it is. Holy crap, that Swift driver got so close to that FedEx. That Swift driver is either really good or a dumbass, because he was extremely confident that he was going to make that, because he went really fast. That was so close. Yeah, it's going about as well as it could. Miguel is about as good of a team partner as you could have in, you know, hanging out with and living with in the truck. Unless you had like your best friend in here. And even if I had one of my good friends in here with me, I've lived with a few of my good friends, and I don't know that I could live with them for a week in one of these trucks. They get on my damn nerves in about an hour because they know the buttons to push. Now, I'm sorry about my raspy voice. I've sounded like this for the last couple of days. I have a congestion thing that's running down my throat and just making my throat raw. It might be swollen as well, I'm not sure. But Miguel told me it's probably coronavirus, and he started getting a sore throat and coughing and a runny nose last night. So he's saying that I gave it to him, and I told him that he's probably a carrier and he's had it this whole time, and he gave it to me, and he's just now showing symptoms. So his girlfriend's a nurse, and he asked her about it, and he said that she basically agreed with what I said, because he didn't even know coronavirus existed. Like, he didn't know what was going on with China or any of that stuff. And I got to talk with him about it, and I told him, like, they're trying to contain it, but it's just, like, all their containment managers, all their containment measures outside of China are basically just for show. Because they're checking for fever and stuff like that. And they are quarantining people for like 14 days. And it's been proven that you can go more than 14 days without being symptomatic. And once you feel good again, you are still contagious. And they're letting people out of the hospital and stuff once they feel well. Well, they're still contagious when they let them out of the damn hospital. And checking for fevers at the airport is completely worthless, because you can be going around contagious and asymptomatic for 14 days or more. So all these measures that they're taking to try to contain it outside of China, where they're doing like real measures, they're shutting down cities and stuff like that. What most other countries are doing is just for show. It's window dressing. And I don't think there is a way that we could possibly contain it. The R0 value is so high on this. If we could contain the flu is like an R0 value of 1.14 or something like that. It's ridiculously low. And the last R0 value I heard on the COVID-19 or Wuhan or whatever they're calling it is between 4 and 6. It could potentially be higher than that. But we can't contain the flu, and we have a damn vaccine for it. There's no way that we could contain this Wuhan virus. But they're still, putting on a show for the public, so they don't get voted out of office or anything. So it's not containable. That's the number one point that I made with Miguel. And there was one other point that I made, which was basically the only thing that you could do to try to avoid it is to just, I've been using my Clorox or whatever wipes and cleaning the dash and the steering wheel and everything, sometimes multiple times per day, and washing my hands and face constantly and stuff like that. And Miguel said that she told him the same thing, clean surfaces with a disinfectant, and it's not containable. There's no way that they can contain it. So we'll see how it plays out. But he's going. I think he's going to talk with her, his girlfriend, and get her to recommend some medicine for him. I got some Robitussin. I didn't take it today. I probably should. But I don't know. I'm just starting to ramble in the video. I am so tired right now. I'm about to crawl into bed. I'm not going to tell you how long I've been awake. There are some things I'm not going to mention in these videos. I'm not going to go into too much detail. Throughout almost all these videos, I have been brutally honest, and I have talked about details and my thoughts without any. I mean my raw thoughts, without any filter or anything, unedited. But now it's not just me. I really don't give a shit what people think about me, but I don't want to talk about what Miguel and I are doing, and throw Miguel's business out there. So I will say that we have butted heads on a few things. I wouldn't say butting heads is a good way to put it. It was more of he got really upset over a few things, and I've gotten kind of upset about a couple of things. And I told him, you know, that I didn't like that. And appreciate it if we didn't do that. And that, you know, I told him why. And he was really good about saying, you know, all right, then we won't do that. But there's a tense moment or two that happens before we come to some arrangement on something. But, you know, that's not very often. Like I said, about 98% of the time, he and I are getting along great, and telling each other how great each other, you know, we all are, and, you know, stroking each other's egos and stuff like that. I am so looking forward to this shit being over with. I can't wait to be in my own damn truck. I cannot stand living with another person in such a small space. This is wrong. What the fuck is this guy doing? I think he's gonna make a parking spot right there. He's just gonna park along the curb right there, I think is what's happening. There's a whole bunch of creative parking that happens in this parking lot. And it seems like all the Love's parking lots are really tiny. Flying J's, you know, they'll have huge parking lots, but Love's, there's a ton of Love's, but they all seem to have tiny ass parking lots. See, he's got some creative parking going on over here. Well, shit, focus, bitch. Do it. It was making the attempt. I think it figured it out. Yeah, he's just inching his way over to that curb to his left. And did he get close enough that he just called it right there? He's still quite a ways away from it. He's probably not going to stay there for very long. If he were like planning on staying there for the day, then he would have done a better job. That was a half-assed attempt. See, this guy didn't want to share window space with me. I'd be over there mooning him right now. If he would have pulled back a little bit, he actually is at the shower right now. He grabbed his shower bag and went in. But if he would have backed up all the way out, I showed him my ass. You know, that's how we do it out here. The trucker life. But internet options for future stuff, I'm probably not going to bother with it until I get into my own truck. But I've been looking at, you know, quite a few things. And I think I found a few that might work. That one of them is some janky shit where if you buy a specific type of router, a MoFi whatever router, it will like send all of your data like it's streaming. It will try to trick your provider. Sorry. It'll try to trick your provider into thinking that you're streaming YouTube or Netflix or something like that. Well, most cellular providers do not count streaming towards your data usage. But because they don't count it towards your data usage, they typically throttle it to like 5 megabit maximum. So there's a trade-off, and that router is like $300, $400, and I would only get 5 megabit. That sucks. Another option is unlimited IRL, which is designed for people who want to they want to stream on the go, like, and they want unlimited high quality streaming. You know, like people who have like Justin.tv, the guy who started that, who had a camera in his backpack that he walked around with that recorded everything he did. That's what it's designed for. And it is unlimited, but it's expensive. It's like their cheapest package is like $140 a month, but they say it's unlimited. They don't go into great detail about download speeds. It is primarily for upload. but they say it can be used for download, and download is not capped. They don't say whether or not it's throttled or anything else. But the upload is supposedly not throttled, not capped, and it's high priority. So, but I'm trying to find more information on what the download is like. But almost all the reviews I can find on it online are from streamers, and they don't mention much about the upload or much on the download on it. They're just talking about they're getting great upload speeds and 4K and all that stuff. But I'm looking at my options. It's looking like they're expensive, and it's looking like I'm not going to bother with any of them until I get my own truck. But I'm starting to lose my voice, so I'm going to get off of here. I might not make another video for a week. Once I get into my own truck and I'm going to get my internet sorted and all that shit. And sorry for shaking the phone. I just realized I was doing that. Then I'll upload more videos, probably. So, all right. Thanks. Bye.